trying too hard makes you look like an amateur, and being at ease and relaxed, keeping your composure and poise makes you look like an expert, like you know what you're doing, you're in control, you know what you're talking about. But I see a lot of people in business, they are struggling and they're working so hard. And they tell me, Fred, I've tried everything. I've worked so hard. I've put in the hours. I've put in the labor, and it's somehow not working. And I say this with the greatest compassion. Maybe it's not hard work what gets the results. I've never taught that it's hard work. I don't know where you get this idea. You probably get it from society. And what is society if not all kinds of culturally conditioned, media conditioned, education conditioned thought forms that you've bought into and now express. And one of those major thought forms taught everywhere you go is hard work will get you success. That's what they, whoever they are, teach the slaves. Hard labor will get you success. You do hard labor for us, make money for us, that'll get you success. That's what the slave master says to the slave. Hard work will get you there. Just work a little harder and you'll get it. And just a little harder and then you'll get there. And eventually, after years of this philosophy not working the way they thought, or working at the expense of their health, at the expense of their relationships. You know, I worked so hard, gave up my relationships, gave up my health, I sacrificed. After years of that, they become bitter and they attack the idea of success itself. They attack the idea of merit. But success and merit are beautiful things. Doesn't it make you feel uncomfortable when you see someone unnecessarily trying too hard? Like you're in a service situation. Let's say you see a waiter and he's just trying so hard to get it right, to say the exactly right things. And it all comes across as so unnatural, so awkward. And you just wish he'd get away, you know, I wish he'd just talk normally, like a human being talks. Or you see somebody in business trying to appear in a certain way while hiding all their shortcomings. Well, guess what? What you hide is amplified. That's why I try not to hide any of myself. That's being authentic, and if I'm authentic, I can be relaxed. And people always ask me, well, Fred, why are you so at ease? You stand in front of crowds. Why are you so at ease all the time? The world is burning. Why are you so at ease? Because I'm not trying too hard, and I'm not hiding who I really am. I'm not trying to appease or make an impression or be a people pleaser or gain approval. I'm just being myself and following what interests me and sharing what interests me. Very simple and straightforward. No mystery, no games, no BS. That saves a lot of energy. And of course, that puts me at ease and makes me appear like some kind of expert. But I'm no more expert than anybody else. Have you ever witnessed people trying too hard to score a romantic partner or a sex partner? And isn't that one of the biggest turnoffs there is? Or have you ever experienced how in the beginning, when you get to know somebody, it's easy. Everything is lightweight and uncomplicated. But then when you start falling in love too much, falling in love in quotation marks, when you start getting too attached, making the thing or the person too important, things start getting awkward and serious real quick. And then you become needy and you become sticky and you get worried. What if he or she leaves me? What if he or she doesn't love me back? And you've lost that flow because you've created an importance that is not really there in reality, in the natural world. Yes, it is important that you get together. It's important that you love. It's important that you appreciate, that you exchange with others. But you put the other person on a pedestal as if they were your savior. You worship that person, and that's when things get awkward. That's when you get out of flow. That's when you're trying too hard, and it not only makes you look like an amateur, it makes you look very unattractive. And then the other starts distancing themselves, and you're hoping, does he want me as much as I want him, and all that nonsense. So what about not giving a damn? I'm serious, that's letting go. But too much letting go, too much not giving a damn, can also go to the other extreme, where you lose interest altogether. And if you lose interest altogether, that also is not going to create a romantic partner experience for you. So you find the balance between interest and non-attachment. That is a powerful, powerful phrase right there. I'm interested, but not attached. I'm attentive, but it's not a must. I like it, I don't need it. That's the formula. That's one of the most empowering things I can give to you. Have you ever noticed how some people on social media are trying too hard? And have you gotten bored by that and unfollowed them because of that? Because they're trying so hard to be liked and get the likes. And all of their postings, you can tell, are just to garner the attention, garner the likes, instead of actually having a real message. And that's not the path, that's not the way. At least it's not the path of people who are interested in higher consciousness. It's another path. And really, there's only two paths you can go on. It's up or down. So if you do your social media posting according to what gets the most likes, what's going to happen is that your material or whatever you're posting is going to become just about as boring as mainstream thought. And mainstream thought, as you may have noticed, is profoundly boring, profoundly uninteresting. So the higher consciousness path is to not try so hard and instead look at what's in your heart and what's authentically you, because what's authentically you is incomparably unique. It's just you, and no other person is like that. And they'll see no other social media account is like that. So I have a lot of people, they struggle with this. They're afraid to show who they really are, which doesn't have to have anything to do with anybody else, and who cares? You know, you're much more creative than that. And it might be that if you follow this path, you're not going to get the 1 million followers or hundreds of thousands of followers that quickly, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You derive joy and satisfaction, and you attract just the right people for you. rather than a bunch of normies or people who are not that attentive or not that interesting or interested. You see, you become niche and specialized and unique, and that's beautiful. You see, I've written more than 50 books, but that was not trying hard, it was fun. I was following my joy and authentic nature. So rather than working hard, I worked consistently. It's about what you do habitually every day, but that doesn't have to be hard. It's about what you're persistent at and keep forming, keep shaping, that turns into your reality. And if that's gruelingly hard work, what you're creating is a gruelingly hard life. And is that what you want? I used to go to the gym and see all these people wear t-shirts which had sayings such as blood, sweat, and tears is what gets you success. And what a slave mentality that is. That is exactly what they want you to think. Who do I mean by they? Well, they who do not work hard and let you work for them as their slaves. So being an easygoing person and taking it easy, these are not traits of lazy and dumb people, as commonly thought, commonly taught, thought. Very similar words. Very strange, huh? Taught, thought. No. Being easygoing and taking it easy, these are traits of luxurious people. Traits of royalty. And you need to define for yourself if you're going to behave like a slave or like royalty. The poorest people that I know are the hardest workers. They get up at 4 in the morning. They go to the construction site where they work until 9 p.m. surrounded by toxic fumes and by dirt and by horrible noise all day. And how do they ever get rich? No, of course not. Getting rich has nothing to do with hard work and all to do with smart work. But you can't get smart if you're constantly busy. You can't get smart if you're constantly desperate and focused and grabbing. You can only get smart if you sit back and relax and give yourself some time and space to think about things. You know, when I go play tennis, and you've heard me say this, I play tennis a lot. I even write this in my book, The Flow State. Great book, by the way. When I go to tennis and I get too serious about winning, must win, gotta get it, gotta win, that reduces the quality of my game. So then I have to release and relax, and I usually do that by telling myself, okay, this is just warm-up. All of life is just warm-up, because in the warm-ups, before the match begins, I'm usually much better. And the reason I'm much better is because I don't give a hoot. You see, I don't give a damn, so I play with abandon. And that's the flow state. So I let go. But even here, if I let go too much, I can also get out of flow, because then I become too passive. Then I'm just a passive observer. I might be happy and in a good state, but nothing is happening. So I need to maintain a balance between, again, interest and activity with non-attachment. That is truly the magic flow balance. And it is so good. Man, the other day I played so well. I was unbeatable. Anybody could come on court. I was unbeatable. I was in flow because I had the mixture of strong activity while not caring about the result. And that's where people get mixed up. They think when I say take it easy, relax, they think it means idleness, being idle, okay? Being non-active, doing nothing all day, just sitting around. That's not what it means at all. It's strong activity while being relaxed about the result, relaxed about the outcome, not caring much about self-importance, about the outcome, about getting approval or anything else. Just enjoying the action for the sake of action, for the sake of creativity, for the sake of production. So when I find myself getting too released and passive, I spring into action again. And when I find myself getting too serious and narrow focused, I release again. A variation on trying too hard is overthinking. Most people that I've experienced in my life, and that's tens of thousands, you can even see that they're overthinking. So most people are overthinking, and you can tell. You can tell they're putting in much more strain and effort than they need to. You see, most truth is self-apparent, obvious. It reveals itself without your effort. You've been given a realm here where the food grows by itself. The oxygen is supplied by itself. The water flows by itself. None of the things in nature require your effort. It's almost like this place was intended as a kind of paradise vacation. The fruits grow on trees. I didn't have to do anything. They just grow and they keep growing and keep growing, and everything keeps replenishing. What a beautiful realm. And then comes the mind with the belief of insufficiency and lack and thinks, I got to get it, I got to do it. Things don't just happen. You see how false that belief is, that things don't just happen? Because if you look around in the world, things just happen all the time. I mean, look at the clouds moving by. Did you have to do something for those clouds to move by? Did you have to do something for those billions of people to be walking around? Did you personally have to set up the internet that you're using? Yes, somebody did it, and that's great, but you benefit from things that others did. So people overthink it, they grasp too hard, they hold on too tight, and they need to release and relax. And that's a daily practice until you get it, until you become a person of poise, a person of flow. Sometimes I'll say something really simple to someone, and they'll take it and they'll overthink it, and then they'll distort the original meaning of what I was trying to say. I was just casually saying something really simple, and then they'll start thinking on it as if I posed a life riddle that they have to figure out, or some really, really important teaching. And that kind of shocks me, and I think, wow, that must be how religions are created. You know, I just said that in passing. I wanted it to be simple so that everybody understands it, but the feedback I get on that statement turns it into something much more complicated than I ever intended. And this phenomenon I experience almost every day. As a coach, I also see it on social media, on commentary online about my work, even in reviews of my books, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how much more simple do I have to get for people to understand? And I'll share I'll share something private. Sometimes I actually wonder if people have the intelligence capacity nowadays to even follow what I'm saying, because simplicity takes a lot of intelligence. Okay, and actually stupidity complicates everything, makes everything much more complicated than it is, because stupidity thinks that thinkingness itself is the height of human evolution, the height of human consciousness, which it isn't. You have presence, you have intuition, you have imagination, and all these factors that are higher than thinking. But they think that it's all in the thinkingness. So I'd like to say that let go of thinking, shut up for a moment, and just come more from your heart. Let go of analyzing everything, trying to control everything, and come from your heart. Just put your attention on your chest and feel things, perceive things in your chest instead of straining so much. You get much smarter because in your heart you receive everything that is already apparent, and your heart knows things way in advance. It knows way more than the mind. Why? The mind is a recording device. All the mind knows is what it's been told and has recorded. Certain things are told to you in school, you record them. Some are true, some are not true. That's all the mind knows. So some of what you have in your filing cabinet of the mind is useful and some things aren't, whereas the heart is your real essence. That's the part of you that has experienced things before this life and will experience things after this life. It's not limited to what's been indoctrinated into it in this life. I do sports and I do work out, but never to the point of injury. Doing it to the point of injury means you're trying too hard. That's what trying too hard leads to. It leads to injury. And you see people who go to the gym, again, who work out too hard. You eventually see it in their faces when they turn around 60 or 70, the strain they've been going through, and you think, man, this person has been through a hard life. They would like it to appear as if they're all fit and sexy, but to an outsider, you think, oh, they've been through, this person must have been through hell. Okay, and then you realize, no, they haven't. They've just been working really, really hard in the gym. Now, I don't want to put down gym goers. I think workout is great, sports is great. It releases a lot of emotional resistance, and it does make you look prettier to a certain, working out to a certain extent, and it makes you healthier. I'm saying you can take that too far. And people who take that too far, it's because they have nothing else in life. They're just doing the bare basics, keeping physically fit. But what about mental fitness? What about heart fitness? What about creative fitness? What about business fitness? What about interpersonal fitness? So there's more than just physical fitness. Physical fitness is one part, and then there's 10 other parts. I love my spouse, but never to a point of giving up my own identity and preferences. So I do invest into my relationship, but I don't try too hard. So how can you actually stop trying too hard? Stop appearing like an amateur? Well, you can remember the times you were in flow when you didn't care either way that much. You can remember the times you had a soft touch and things worked out quite well. You were not needy. You didn't need that success desperately. And you can ask, well, Fred, don't all these law of attraction books teach that you need a really, really strong desire to make things manifest? Yeah, that's what they teach, but that's not what I teach. I have never taught that strong desire leads to what you want in life. I've always taught that desire can be a motor in the direction of what you want, but eventually If you only desire something, you're separating yourself from it. You're in the I want instead of the I have. If you're in the I have, I already have, you don't desire it, you're easygoing, you're released, you're relaxed. I already have it. And then some people argue, yes, but Fred, I've tried this, and if I feel I already have it, I no longer do anything to get it. I become passive and lazy, and it leads nowhere. Fred, your methods lead nowhere. Well, that's where my teaching on activity, relaxed activity and action come in. Acting as the person who's manifested it, acting toward the thing you want to manifest, preparing for success, doing the things you would be doing if you believed in success. So I've always taught activity and action. I've never taught to just feel, visualize it, and then sit around. That too is a thing that people think I teach, which I don't. Which is why I'm right here, right now, clarifying what I actually teach and how it differs from what is generally taught in the New Age field or the self-improvement field. Another way to not try so hard is to reduce a thing's importance. And there's many different ways to do that. You can take a break from the project, take a break from the person, take a break from being online. You can take a break from anything. And if something becomes too important or habitual in your life, I absolutely recommend that you take that break, that you make that cut for a while and see what it's like without it. If you're addicted to a certain food, you have a certain food every single day, I recommend you stop it and you try something else. Because when something becomes too important, it's going away from reality. Nothing is too important except for the Most High and your body, your spirit, energy, and love. That's all that's important. Nothing else. Another way to release trying too hard is by choosing a thing that doesn't have any past baggage. You try something new, learn a new skill without all that baggage from the past. And that might break the spell of trying too hard. So the question is really, can you relax, but not to the point of tiredness? Can you relax, not meaning inactivity? Can you relax in activity, with activity? The higher state of consciousness is to be relaxed but active, not relaxed and idle. And most people think they either are active or relaxed. That's a false dichotomy. My name is Fred Dodson. Don't try so hard.